Okay, continuing right along is our next book, The Bondage Breaker by Neil T. Anderson. I was actually given this book when I was in youth group. The first youth group I was really a part of. I was at a Baptist church in Tillsonburg, Ontario, and we were given this book. There's a bunch of us actually, mostly guys. We did a thing on just addictions, and then pornography, and then we talked about spiritual bondage and spiritual forces. And it was my kind of soft introduction to what the Bible talks about when it talks about angels and demons. And it's something that I believe, something that I think everyone needs to be at least tacitly aware of. That it is not just human beings acting like human beings here on earth, that there are spiritual forces, and that there are spiritual forces that are not in the world for your good, that they are in the world for your downfall. And it can go both ways in bad directions. It can go both ways too far, where you start thinking there's a demon in your coffee cup because it wasn't the right flavor, that kind of stuff. Obviously, people take it too far, but this was just a nice kind of eye opener as a young Christian alongside my Bible. Technically, my first Christian book. Like I had my own Bible, and we had books in the house, and I had read the first Christian book I ever read. I think was the Screwtape Letters by C.S. Lewis, and like Chronicles of Narnia, stuff like that. But this book was given to me, and it was my first nonfiction Christian book, and I remember reading it cover to cover. I didn't do any notes back then. You can tell I didn't know I wanted to be a writer back then. Didn't really do any notes, but it's just great. This is the teen edition. It has a lot of practical advice for young people, a lot of practical advice for people dealing with things that they think are bigger than themselves, and prayers and Bible verses. And I just love going back to it every now and then because there's marginalia in the back cover from I think that guy's name was Dave. Who gave this to me? He worked with the youth group. There's Bible verses that he wanted to encourage me with, and just it's a memory maker. It's not really something that's built into much of my writing nowadays, but I've always kept it. I've had it on my shelf all the way through Bible college, through in high school, before I went to Bible college, and it's always kind of come with me. There's been other books that I've gotten along the time that have left, but this is just a memory maker. Having a book like this around. That was kind of part of your early faith formation is it's a big deal. So it's definitely something to check out. If you're a Christian and you've never read it before, you definitely need to read it. I know so many pastors who have read this book because it's just it was so prolific back in kind of like the late 90s, 2000s, that kind of era. But Neil T. Anderson, and Dave Park. I think Josh McDowell does a bunch of stuff. He's got like a section in it or something like that, but really cool. Definitely go check it out. One of my oldest and one of my favorite books. So, The Bondage Breaker. Go get it.